Let's get it. 580 Sports Talk is live and direct on a Thursday. And if you blink, you're going to miss it because we're live for the next 24 minutes here on this Thursday edition of 580 Sports Talk here on the Sports Voice of Kansas. 580 WIBW, FM 104.9, online at 580WIBW.com. And on our video streaming channels, our YouTube channel, 580 Sports Talk, our Facebook page, WIBW News. However, wherever, whenever you're tuning into the program today, thanks for being a part of the audience here for 580 Sports Talk. My name is Dan Lucero, and I'm short timing it today because at the bottom of this 3 o'clock hour, we're handing the reins to the K-State Sports Network from Learfield, a Kansas State basketball doubleheader at Bramlage Coliseum. Tips off at 4 o'clock with the K-State women, undefeated at 3-0, hosting the Coyotes of South Dakota. Do they go by Coyotes or Coyotes? Some schools have a difference of they want to be the Coyotes or the Coyotes, and I guess I'm not entirely clear which one South Dakota is supposed to be, but by any other name, South Dakota's in town to take on the unbeaten Midi Cats of Kansas State. Then at 7 o'clock, the men's contest will tip off as Kansas State takes on the Cal Bears. So pregame coverage starts at 3:30, which means we're off the air at 3:30 today. So this will go in the books as one of the shortest episodes in 580 Sports Talk history. I can't think of any other time that we would have gone off the air any earlier than half an hour. Now, there have been some short shows on the back. I guess there have been some really short ones on the back end of a Royals game. I think at the end of a Royals game this year, when they were in San Francisco, I think I came on the air for like 7 minutes. So we've had some short ones on the back end, but on the front end, this will be about as short as it ever gets here on 580 Sports Talk. So we have a lot of time to waste, and a couple of things I'd like to get off my chest on this Thursday before we wrap up the program with a final word, as we always do. You are invited and encouraged to be a part of the show today. Say hello, ask me a question, comment on what I got to talk about here in this short time that we're together. The text line is 785-272-9429. That is 785-272-9429. You can also find me on YouTube. 580 Sports Talk's the name of the channel. Go like and subscribe. We're up over 860 subscribers. We're now 39 subscribers away from a stretch goal of 900 subscribers and karaoke with the 580 Sports Talk squad, who, by the way, I told them not to bother today. I told Spencer Dupuis and Brendan Wrzynski, you guys take a powder. I got this one. So it's just me here until 3:30 today. But the whole crew will show up for karaoke day. I can promise you that. We got to get to those 900 subscribers on YouTube first. We're 39 subscribers away. So get us one step closer today. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, you're listening out there, go find us, 580 Sports Talk on YouTube. Doesn't cost you anything but a click or a tap of your screen, and we get to see the number go up, which gives us 1 serotonin every time. So we appreciate that. Get us closer to 900. Get us closer to our karaoke dreams. 580 Sports Talk Idol. Maybe that's what we'll call it instead. 580 Sports Talk Idol. That's coming up. And then when one of us sings, the other two of us get to be Simon Cowell and Randy Jackson. That's what we're doing. I just manifested what it is that we're going to end up doing. Throw karaoke out. It'll be karaoke-ish, but it's 580 Sports Talk Idol. And we'll let you all vote on who the better singer is. I just manifested that right here as I'm sitting here today. We're going to do that when we get to 900 YouTube subscribers. So now that you know, now that we fleshed it out, go subscribe. 580 Sports Talk on YouTube. Hello to Mark and Paul checking us out in the YouTube today. Appreciate you guys. Again, we're short timing it today. So the time you spend with us, we really appreciate it. Let's make good use of it, though, because, again, we don't have a lot of it. 3 things I want to make sure that I get to here in the next 19 minutes or so. First thing I want to do, Broncos-Chiefs is Sunday in Denver at Mile High Stadium. Mitch Holtz, voice of the Chiefs, usually joins us on Thursdays at 5:25. Obviously, that's not happening today, but tune in tomorrow at 5:25. You'll catch our weekly conversation with the great voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holtz. So it's Chiefs and Broncos. It's for control of the division. It's an odd position the Chiefs find themselves in going into Sunday, as they are the hunters and not the hunted. 2 games back of the Broncos, functionally 2.5 games out, which would mean if they lost on Sunday to the Broncos, they would be functionally 4 games back, which would make the AFC West race functionally over, really. So kind of a must-win if the Chiefs really want to go and win the AFC West. It's a big game. We'll have our keys to the game. We'll do our big Chief picks, our game predictions. We'll talk to our Chiefs insider, Matt Derrick, on tomorrow's show. But one thing I got to make very clear before we get to Friday, because I saw this floating around on the on X today. X, it's what's happening. It's where everything is happening. It all happens on X. And I don't do this with relish, because Zach Stevens of DNVR in Denver is a friend of the program. We've had Zach Stevens on the show before. But Zach Stevens laid out the statistics, just the raw stats from the last season and a half in the NFL, 2024 and half of 2025, the raw passing numbers for Patrick Mahomes and Bo Nix, and did so to demonstrate that Mahomes' numbers the last year and a half and Nix's numbers the last year and a half are actually not that far off. And yes, in a sense of counting numbers, there is some truth to that. Mahomes obviously has a significant passing yard advantage and has thrown fewer interceptions, and has also played 2 fewer games. But Bo Nix has put up some raw numbers in his first year and a half as an NFL player and an NFL starter that on the surface look okay. But I want to be clear. We don't have to do this. We don't have to lie. And what they say, 3 kinds of lies: lies, damn lies, and statistics. The numbers are fibbing when it comes to Bo Nix. And all you need to do to know that is to just use your eyes and watch him play. Bo Nix's numbers in the first 3 quarters of games rank among the very worst of any quarterback in the NFL. He's down there with Cam Ward, who's been miserable as a rookie because his team is miserable and his coach was miserable and the support system is miserable there in Tennessee. If there was supposed to be a second-year leap for Nix, and I was skeptical of this all along, not to pat myself on the back too hard, but if there was supposed to be a second-year leap for Bo Nix, hasn't happened. If anything, you could argue at times it looks like he's regressed because he's less accurate on balls down the field. He's throwing more interceptions, not taking as good a care of the football this year, 8 interceptions in 10 games. But his fourth quarter numbers look shiny. You have the comeback to beat the Eagles. That happened. We saw that with our eyes too. The 33-point fourth quarter to come back and beat the Giants. We saw that with our eyes. So what do you make of that? What do we make of a quarterback who can't play a lick for 3 quarters and then shines in the fourth quarter? It feels unprecedented. It's not. We've seen this. We've seen it in the same uniform. And some of y'all wanted to lie to yourself about Tim Tebow back when he was the starting quarterback of the Denver Broncos. But if you had eyes, you knew what you were seeing. And you knew that it wasn't magic. It wasn't Tebow time or whatever you want to call it. It was just not a very good quarterback. The sum total was not a good quarterback. And that's where we get to with Bo Nix. The sum total of everything is this is not a good quarterback. And in the matchup on Sunday, it is a pronounced quarterbacking advantage for the Kansas City Chiefs. And when that is the case, the Chiefs almost always win those football games because they almost always have that kind of a pronounced quarterbacking advantage. Now, obviously, the quarterbacks don't play against each other. Nix goes against the Chiefs defense, a little bit more permissive this year than the Bronco defense has been. So that's a tougher matchup for Mahomes. That is all true. The Chiefs are 4-point favorites as it currently stands. Surprising to see the number that big, given the fact that you would expect on average to see the home team favored by 3, all things being equal. So that's essentially a 7-point swing in the Chiefs' direction. That's what Vegas is telling you. Believe Vegas. Don't believe raw counting stats about Bo Nix. Believe Vegas, believe your eyes. They're not lying to you when it comes to Bo Nix, and we don't have to lie about what Bo Nix is either. He is a mediocre quarterback who has had some nice things happen in the fourth quarter of some comebacks for the Broncos. They're 8-2, and you can only play who's in front of you. They deserve to be 8-2 on the balance of what their team is capable of. They've had a good running game. Defense is obviously terrific. They've got 46 sacks. They deserve to be 8-2 on the balance of their performance. But that doesn't mean we have to lie about Bo Nix. All right, that's my rapid fire Chiefs thought for the day. Let's keep it moving. I should have had like a lightning round music going in the background. We could have switched the music, kind of given this show the sort of up-tempo feeling that it has to have by nature, because again, we are off at 3:30 today. I have a Royals thought to get to because saw this hot stove rumor come across my feed earlier today. Derek Gould of the St. Louis Post-Dispatch is reporting that the Royals are among some teams that are interested in acquiring Cardinals utility man Brendan Donovan in a trade this offseason. The Cardinals have finally admitted to themselves they are going nowhere, and they are going to have something of a fire sale this offseason. They're going to trade everybody who isn't nailed down. And one of those guys, all-star, Brendan Donovan, Gold Glover, Brendan Donovan. He was a Gold Glover in his rookie year of 2022. Last year, he made his first All-Star team, hit .287 with a .775 OPS. 10 home runs, drove in 50 in 118 games, has played all over the diamond, mostly the infield, mostly second base, but has also seen some time in left field, has played a little shortstop, a little third base, a little right field, a little third base, a little first base. Brendan Donovan owns a lot of gloves. He's a man who owns a lot of gloves. Over his 4-year career and over 2,000 plate appearances, the 29-year-old Donovan has a 117 career OPS plus, which we refer to that number a lot on this show. That means he has been 17% better than league average offensively. It's a good hitter. It's not a great power hitter. His career slugging percentage is only .411, so it's not like he's going to bring a lot of thump, but he's hit over 30 doubles each of the last 2 years, including 32 in just 118 games last season when he tied a career high with a .422 slugging percentage. And again, as I mentioned, made his first All-Star team. And he won a Gold Glove for his work at second base in 2022. I would like this idea for the Royals. I don't think Brendan Donovan is a star. I don't think the Royals are needing a star. They have a star. They have one of the stars of stars in Bobby Witt Jr. They do not have to go out and get a superstar player. They need above average contributors, particularly offensively, because that is what they lacked last year, and that is why they didn't end up making the postseason. Donovan has been a consistently above average offensive performer for 4 years in the bigs. And he can play all over the lot. And the Royals, we know, value versatility. Now, he's a left-handed hitter. The Royals can at times get a little too left-handed. So this would not be a player who would fill in right field and spell Jack Caglione against a tough lefty, for instance. They're still looking for that kind of player. But if Brendan Donovan can be had, and he would be had fairly cheap in terms of salary because he's got 2 arbitration years left. He's projected to make about $5.5 million in arbitration this year, be in line for another raise in 2027. But if you get a player for 2 years and something like $12-13 million, who's coming off of an all-star appearance, who has a Gold Glove, who's versatile, who hits for average, I would be willing to trade from the Royals' surplus of pitching to acquire a player like that. And if I'm the Royals, I'm taking a long look at this kind of player. Plug him in at second base. Like we talked about the other day when Jeff Passan floated the idea that the Royals should take a look at Gleyber Torres at second base. The Royals have talked about an outfield bat. Got to get a corner outfield bat. And they're right, they do. But I also think they need a steadier, more reliable solution at second base. Jonathan India is not that player. More and more, I'm growing comfortable with the idea that they're just going to non-tender him. They won't tender him a contract and he'll become a free agent. I think that's the way to go, frankly, coming off the worst year of his career. And I don't think you can just write Michael Massey's name in pen for 150 games at second base. I think that would be a mistake. I think you need some certainty at second base, what the Royals tried to get with India last year, and it never really panned out. Or at the very least, they tried to get some versatility with India, and it turned out that he wasn't good anywhere you put him on the field when it came to his defense. And certainly the defense wasn't enough to float the below-average bat. Donovan's an above-average bat with a solid glove. Maybe he's not the 4-win player he was as a rookie, but if he's a 2.5 to 3-win player at second base, that's a big deal. The Royals need more of those guys if they're going to win the Central next year. I would be all in for a move like this. I really like Luinder Avila. You've heard me talk about him. He made his debut with the Royals on the mound as a reliever this past season. I like him long-term as a starter. If that were the asking price for Brendan Donovan, I'd make the move. I would. I'd trade Avila for Donovan. One last quick-fire thought. We got K-State basketball tonight. You know that. K-State men getting their first big test of the season when they tip off against Cal at 7 o'clock tonight. Games on CBS Sports Network. Kansas State is 56th in the KenPom ratings right now. Their first two opponents ranked 283rd and 320th. Tonight's opponent, the Cal Bears, they are 83rd in the KenPom. So it's a sterner test. You'd still tip K-State to win this game, but I will be interested to see how they fare against a team that can potentially score with them if they are not locked in on the defensive side of the basketball. We're going to say this a lot, or some variation of this a lot, I think, as we kind of gear up for Big 12 play. Kansas State may not have it in them to be an elite defensive team, but I think they have the athleticism and the coach to at least make them into a passable defensive team. Passable should be good enough tonight, because I think they're going to be able to score on Cal. I think they're going to be able to score on just about everybody they play. They are passable defensively tonight. That should be enough to see them through to a home win. But if they're not, well, we'll see how this group of cats handles adversity for the first time this season. We'll take a break. We'll come back with a final word. Yeah, we're going to do a final word because we are done at 3:30 today. So the final word on this edition of 580 Sports Talk is coming up after this. Yeah, we better wrap it up because we got some K-State basketball coming up here on 580 Sports Talk. A little Afternoon game for the K-State women as they look to extend their record to 4-0. They've got South Dakota in town this afternoon for a 4 o'clock tip-off. Then following that game, we'll stay with the K-State Sports Network from Learfield. They'll bring you K-State men's basketball tonight as the Wildcats take on the Cal Bears in their first real test of this upcoming season. Final word for me today. Since this is a short show today, there was a lot to choose from because there's a lot we didn't, frankly, get to on the show today. But final word for me today is this. I understand the consternation going into this game for the Chiefs from their fans because this is such uncharted territory, because we are not accustomed to seeing the Chiefs this far behind in the division race at this stage of the season. 2.5 games could either be virtually 4 games or it could be virtually 1 game for a divisional deficit after Sunday. But I have seen it happen this year with the Chiefs. I'm not even drawing on years past, which you can do. I mean, these guys do have a track record. But this year with the Chiefs, when their best has been summoned, they have brought their best. When it was needed against the Ravens, they were their best. When it was needed against the Lions, they were their best. This is a different environment. They'll be on the road, unlike those Ravens and Lions games. They've yet to really get that big road win this season. Lost at Jacksonville. Lost in Brazil earlier in the year. So this is a test, and this is a test that we haven't seen this year's version of the Chiefs pass. But when the best is required, the Chiefs, time and time again over the years, have always brought it. And in November and December, they're always one of the toughest teams to beat. And I can tell you this, if the Chiefs get off to a fast start, we'll get to expand on all this pregame stuff and our keys to the game and all that on tomorrow's show. But if the Chiefs get off to a fast start and the Broncos go 3 and out a couple of times early, the natives are going to get restless at Mile High Stadium and create an environment that I think the Chiefs might thrive in. That's going to do it for us. No, really, we got K-State basketball coming up. We're back tomorrow, though, from 3 until 6. My name is Dan Lucero. This was 580 Sports Talk. Good night.